Hi, I'm Jane King, and this is New to the Street in person back here at the NASDAQ market site in New York City. This show is all about public, private, and blockchain companies, how the CEOs, the founders, and the innovators bringing you lots of opportunities to consider. Here we go. Tonic Pharmaceuticals announced a highly statistically significant and clinically meaningful results for a new treatment for fibromyalgia. And with me is the CEO, Seth Lederman of Tonix, to talk about this. Give me the headlines of these trials, and then we'll explain a little bit and go into more detail.
Thank you, Jane. We're very excited. This is our second positive phase 3 study. So we expect that our drug, which is called Tonmya, is ready to be submitted to the FDA for approval. Okay. This will be the first new drug, we believe, for fibromyalgia since 2009. Mm-hmm. And very importantly, it's a new class of medicines, and it is not an opiate, so it does not have addictive potential. Okay,
and this is pain relief for fibromyalgia, is this particular drug, and that's, what did it see, these trials, like how much did it reduce pain?
Fibromyalgia is a particular type of pain. It's now known that there are 3 types of pain, and fibromyalgia is the kind of pain that originates in the brain. And fibromyalgia pain has been notoriously difficult to treat with a medicine that has long-term tolerability. So we think that our medicine is suitable to be taken long-term, and it provided not only pain relief, so it's not only a non-opiate analgesic. It is that. It's a new kind of painkiller, but it also gave them improved sleep and a relief from fatigue, which is a sense of low energy that also afflicts fibromyalgia patients.
Very interesting. Were there side effects?
Every prescription drug has side effects. The level of systemic side effects was very low. Some headache and somnolence, that was about 3% on drug versus 1% on placebo. But the most common side effect was a transient numbness under the tongue in about 1/4 of the patients, but they only experienced it. It was short term, and it went away, and it was, mild.
So minor side effects so far in these trials. Is it a pill or injection?
It's a sublingual tablet. It goes under the tongue, and people are instructed to take it every night at bedtime. And we believe that it improves sleep quality. It's not a sleeping pill. It's not a traditional sedative or hypnotic. And but what it does is it blocks certain signals in the brain during the night that otherwise would interfere with sleep in fibromyalgia patients.
Interesting. So the sleep issue, better sleep, less fatigue, and an interesting side note, improved sexual function you found as well.
Yes, that was part of the study that was really in the tolerability part of the study, but we were surprised that we got a p-value for improving sexual function in women. Most people with fibromyalgia are women, and we think that that's a big advantage because some of the other drugs for fibromyalgia do have a deleterious effect in some women, affecting sexual function. So that was an added feature of the data from the study.
Okay, so what's next? Will there be more trials, FDA? What happens from here?
What makes us so happy is there are no more trials. We believe we have everything that we'll need for FDA to review and hopefully approve the product. So it's taken 12 years, a lot of investment, but we believe that we're in a very unique place because fibromyalgia drugs are very challenging to develop. So there's a very high barrier to entry for a new medicine in fibromyalgia, and we think with the unique properties of our drug that we have a potential to be a first-line treatment and to bring relief to many fibromyalgia patients, many of whom are dissatisfied with the current options.
Yeah. Best case scenario, when might this be prescribed?
Well, we believe we'll file the new drug application in the second half of this year, and we expect the FDA decision in 2025. And we believe we have everything required for FDA, and that there's a good chance that FDA would approve it.
Okay, thank you so much, Seth, for explaining that.
Thank you, Jane.
Thanks. Accurx Pharmaceuticals is a late-stage biopharmaceutical company developing a new class of small molecule antibiotics for difficult-to-treat bacterial infections. It's recently released clinical data for its leading antibiotic candidate used to treat C. diff. And with me is CEO David Luci to update us on these clinical trials. They've been kind of coming fast and furious lately. So this was positive microbiology and microbiome data from the phase 2B clinical trial. So
Yes.
summarize what happened.
Indeed, Jane. Thanks for having us. I think it was our strongest press release yet. We had certainly a number of compliments from our institutional investor base. So what happened in a nutshell, in terms of the microbiology, which is what the R&D guys focus on from Big Pharma, we're showing that 94% of our patients treated with our ibezapolstat, our investigative antibiotic to treat C. diff patients, 94% of them by the end of day 3 of a 10-day treatment regimen had no C. difficile left. So their infections were gone. And yet with oral vancomycin, which is broad spectrum antibiotic as opposed to us, we're a narrow spectrum, oral vancomycin after day 3 of a 10-day treatment regimen only cleared 71% of the patients with C. difficile. So that shows the power of our program compared to a standard of care in a billion-dollar industry. On the microbiome, what we showed is we have consistent preservation and restoration of the healthy microbiome, the good bacteria in our gut. So patients with C. diff had a logarithmic increase in the healthy bacteria to back to normal during the 10-day treatment, whereas patients on oral vancomycin, some of them had a logarithmic benefit, but most of them had a logarithmic deterioration in the healthy bacteria in the gut. Most of them. And that's because it's a broad spectrum antibiotic. And we have what we call, the science guys call it a logarithm, a violin chart in our poster presentation that's on our website that we presented last week at a scientific conference, a microbiome conference in Texas. So that shows exactly what I'm talking about. It's just another couple of pieces to the puzzle that show how we're separating, in a positive way, our ibezapolstat compared to the standard of care to treat patients with C. diff.
Yeah, and I want to talk about the significance of this because C. diff is an infection that often shows up in hospitals and nursing homes. It's been a problem. There's been no new treatment for decades. So this is really something significant.
Yes, it is significant. Pfizer and Sanofi both failed with vaccines for C. diff. Summit Therapeutics failed at phase 3. There have been a number of failures in C. diff. We're next up with the regulators. And when I say with the regulators, we have news coming regarding our FDA submission to frame out our phase 3 clinical trial mandate. But then beyond that, it's the European regulators, the UK, Japan, Canada. We're going to leverage everything that we've done successfully in the clinical trial program and manufacturing to date to get on track for approvals around the world.
Yeah. In terms of M&A or partnering with a bigger pharmaceutical company, would that be something that you would consider?
Absolutely. That was the game plan from the start of the company. Based on a prior experience with Big Pharma, they wanted to see proof of principle in man, phase 2 data. We've now delivered that, and we're going to continue to deliver smaller pieces with these extra endpoints that we're going to press release. So that's plan A. Plan B, on a parallel track, will be to continue to pursue phase 3. Now, some might ask, well, why do you have to do it on a parallel track? Why would you not want to save the money for phase 3 and embark upon that program if the M&A isn't successful, if you don't find a partner that the board thinks reflects the intrinsic value of the drug? And the reason is because we don't want to be caught flat-footed having to wait another year if we don't find a partner and put us back a year on the timeline.
I see.
There's more money on the back end in terms of revenue streams if we continue things going, with kind of like a better cadence.
Anything else investors should know?
The best is yet to come. Things are looking really good. We are chock full with press for the next 12 months throughout 24. And at one point in 2024, we hope to be able to put a decision to our board to say, we either have a transaction with X company, here's the letter of intent, and here's the status of our phase 3 preparedness. So our board will be able to pick out of basket A or basket B, and then management's done its job and done the best for the interest of the shareholders.
Yeah, okay. Well, I look forward to our next conversation and update. Thanks, David.
Thank you, Jay.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Clean Vision identifies and supports innovative companies in clean energy and sustainability, aiming to meet global market needs while improving customer quality of life and reducing greenhouse gas emissions. At Clean Vision, we provide consultancy services, helping organizations enter new markets faster and become more profitable. Clean Vision, the future of clean energy.
Dynex has a decentralized supercomputer platform that is transforming and disrupting both the supercomputing and the software industries. And with me is Clifford Mapp, an independent expert and blockchain pioneer, to talk about this. So I guess let's just start, Clifford. What is Dynex all about?
The best way to put it is that the aspect of supercomputing is usually very restricted to a handful of companies, handful of individuals. Dynex aims to make it a single philosophy of what we run is supercomputing for everyone. And obviously, the idea behind supercomputing for everyone, right, is that no matter whether you're a small individual independent person all the way up to a global 2000 company, Dynex can facilitate everyone, basically. That is the whole mantra of Dynex, is supercomputing for everyone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure many people could benefit from this. How do you do that? How do you bring supercomputing to the masses? Sure.
So it all starts with obviously the neuromorphic network that's wrapped inside of a blockchain technology. To make that a little bit simpler is that think of it like one big gigantic computer, but spread all over the world. So no matter wherever you are, it should be very easily accessible to you. We're going to see the ecosystem become more mature. We're going to see, the network grow and become bigger, and therefore take on even bigger projects. So, I mean, I'm really looking forward to the next 6 to 12 months, to say the least.
That sounds like there's going to be a lot. Sounds like it's moving very fast, and it's a lot of exciting things that are happening. Okay, so Clifford, finally, give us an outlook. You talked a little bit about speed and growth. I mean, what's kind of right in front of you? What is the next few things you'd like to accomplish?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the one thing that really excites me is when people go, well, so what's coming next, right? And I may be a little bit more lucky than most because I get to hear about the things that are coming next. But like, there are so many extra bits that we want to push the boundaries of. There's potential for even going for some world record attempts at supercomputing, and that's going to be another one that really sort of wakes up the standard industry in supercomputing and makes them take a look at what Dynex is doing. Because the moment you break a world record, suddenly people know who you are, right? So, and then you get, well, if they can do it, why can't we? And, we go around in circles of how do they do it? How do we, match that speed and efficiency? And the benefit with Dynex, and their team of developers, it's not just like one person developing this. This is a full team now, and they're some of the most you know, savvy people that I've met in a long time. They are laser focused on one goal and one goal only, and that's to make sure that Dynex is as good as it can be, as efficient as it can be, and as easy to use for everyone. Because if it's not easy to use for everyone, no one will use it, right? That it's a fundamental principle in Dynex, is that supercomputing for everyone, and they mean it. Like they won't release an update unless it makes sense for everyone using it.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. And that's what makes great companies, is that they have this mass appeal and they're intuitive and easy.
Yes, exactly.
Clifford, thank you so much. Fascinating to hear this discussion. I can't wait to get updates.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Lameness issues, joint pain, and osteoarthritis can be difficult to treat and debilitating for an animal's health and well-being. Take control of lameness issues and joint pain. Introducing Spring with OsteoCushion technology. With just one injection, Spring with OsteoCushion technology targets the root cause of lameness issues, joint pain, and osteoarthritis, helping animals do what they do best.
Hello and welcome to the Business of Blockchain. I'm Jane King. Today we continue our special series on blockchain use cases sponsored by Bitdeer, a global Bitcoin miner listed here at the NASDAQ. In this episode, Bitdeer joins us to discuss the winds of change that are moving the Bitcoin mining industry forward in welcome ways, thanks in large part to the wind, the sun, new mining technology, and the power of markets. And here to explain are Samantha Robertson of Bitdeer and Elliot David of Sustainable Bitcoin Protocol. Welcome. So great to have you here. So Elliot, your company is focused on helping Bitcoin mining industry reduce its carbon footprint. So tell me about the size of the Bitcoin mining industry and how much it's grown.
Sure. Well, first we have to think about what Bitcoin mining actually is. It's really just a data center industry, particularly focused on securing and protecting the Bitcoin mining network. The global Bitcoin mining network consumes about 145 terawatt hours of electricity per year. That's about 0.25% of global energy. If we put that into context, compared to an industry like cement, it's 1/1000th of 1%, some extremely small number of global emissions. But because we all care about climate change, we want to decarbonize the economy. Bitcoin mining also has this unique opportunity to not only be carbon neutral, but actually one of the most climate positive industries and asset classes in the world.
Interesting. So Samantha, tell us about Bitdeer. And the company is headquartered in Singapore, right? But you have operations really all over the place, even here in the US. So tell us about Bitdeer.
Bitdeer is headquartered in Singapore, and what makes our company really unique is that the founder of our company is a guy named Jihan Wu, and he's someone you could think of as the Warren Buffett of Bitcoin. He's been there since the beginning and is somebody who really understands the market cycles, which is critical when you're dealing with a commodity. We have 6 data centers globally. 3 are in the US. Our largest is actually in Texas. We also have 2 in Norway and 1 that energized earlier this year, which is a joint venture with the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Bhutan.
So it's fascinating to see what's happening in Texas, known to most people as oil country, now leading the US in green energy. And Bitcoin miners are doing some interesting things with recycled heat. Explain that.
Yeah, so running computation at a large scale, like Bitcoin mining, one of the end results is a lot of heat. That's why you'll often see Bitcoin miners operating in regions that are very cool, so they don't have to actually spend money on cooling the machines themselves. There's been a lot of really interesting use cases for the heat. Some people are heating up hot tubs and running spas. Some folks are drying and curing, vegetables and meat, running greenhouses. But I'd throw it to Samantha as an actual end user of the heat.
That's correct. At our data center in Norway, we're using immersion cooling for the miners. That means the computing servers are immersed in a dielectric oil, and with that, it transfers heat into a piping system that heats up water for the municipal government that they're using to power greenhouses so that they can grow crops even in the winter in a very remote northeastern part of Norway, which is quite snowy, as you can imagine.
Now, Elliot, Bitdeer is a customer of yours, so explain how you're working together.
Yeah, and we actually see Bitdeer as a sort of partner in how our protocol functions. The way that Sustainable Bitcoin Protocol works is a Bitcoin miner that is using a clean energy source, whether it be hydro or renewables or nuclear or waste methane gas. They'll go through a third-party audit, meaning they'll have that energy use in their operations verified, because we believe in proof of work and transparency, and so do our mining partners. And then once they are verified to be using clean energy, every single time they mine a Bitcoin, they receive a sustainable Bitcoin certificate. So now they have two assets on their balance. So they're mining Bitcoin, right? They receive Bitcoin from the Bitcoin blockchain, and then they also receive this SBC. So in the case of Bitdeer, for example, take, for example, the Bhutan project, right? They have a site in Bhutan that's using hydropower in Bhutan, which is one of the most sustainable countries in the world. A third party will verify that they are using green hydropower. And then every time they mine a Bitcoin at that facility, they will also receive an SBC. They can then sell this SBC to BlackRock or Fidelity or 21 Shares, basically a holder of Bitcoin that wants to make a transparent and auditable claim about the sustainability of their Bitcoin holdings without saying that one Bitcoin's green and one Bitcoin's not, because of course every single Bitcoin is fully fungible.
Well, thank you so much, Samantha and Elliot, for coming and explaining that. It's truly fascinating to see how Bitcoin mining has evolved over this short time. So thank you so much. And that is it for this edition of the Business of Blockchain. A special thanks to Bitdeer for sponsoring this discussion and our series of videos focused on blockchain use cases. I'm Jane King at the NASDAQ market site.
Your data is vulnerable to hackers, with email being the cause of 91% of all cyber attacks. Introducing secure, Swiss-hosted, data-mine-free, private and secure solutions to protect your communications. Secure Mail offers secure and private email communication. Secure Messenger offers private and secure chats. Secure VPN encrypts your internet traffic and protects your digital identity. Regain your privacy today. Visit Secure at secure.com.
Blackstar Digital trading platform is a trailblazing blockchain-based platform designed to revolutionize three key financial sectors: corporate governance, capital raising, and digital trading. And with me is Joe Kurczodyna, the CEO of Blackstar Enterprise Group. So great to have you here at the NASDAQ. And last time you talked to us about Blackstar Digital's platform and novel trading technology. I think I told you I'd never had heard of a blockchain-based stock trading platform. So just tell me a little bit about, you've got a new patent now. Tell me about that, and just in general, what the company's doing.
We just recently received our new patent, as we spoke before. But we are developing a family of patents around our technology, which is really important. We're the little guy out there, and we need to protect ourselves. But with our patent, we've been given a 20-year look at the market. They look at every possible risk that venture could be involved in, and it has to be disclosed. It doesn't have to be stopped, it has to be disclosed. You make your own decision whether you want to take that risk or not. But you need to have that document. You need to see what the risks are. You need to see an audit before you invest in a company that you're being promoted on. And what's happening in this country with the over-regulation of over-the-counter stocks, a lot of the promoters and investment bankers, all went to cryptocurrencies. And it was an easy, fast way to make a dollar. And it's just really, it's an amazing trading system. The blockchain engine is amazing for trading securities. And I've said for the last 3 years, when the SEC finally accepts blockchain trading, Bitcoin trading on a blockchain, blockchain is going to go through every industry, every industry. It has to start with the SEC. It has to start with our government. accepting that type of trading, and that happened a couple of weeks ago, and so we're there right now, and that's been happening. It's been happening in the background for a while, and the SEC has taken a really hard look at it. It wasn't the first time they accepted it.
Well, they really didn't want to, I don't think, but the court forced them to do it. So
well,
here we go.
You know what? The SEC doesn't say no or yes. They just want to make sure that the public is protected, and that really is their motive. That's their job.
Yeah. Is Blackstar safe, secure? How can you ensure that? And will there be trading 24 hours a day?
Well, we hope to do Globex trading.
Okay.
And close on Friday, open back on Sunday evening.
Okay.
And allow people, just like they can on their gambling apps, allow them to speculate whenever they want, whenever there's something going on. And with the system, with the blockchain system and the way it operates in the back office, it doesn't have to have people there, to run it. And that's kind of what's happening here. The brokerage industry is going to be more of a mechanical type industry that's just going to be executing trades and making sure your money is safe. And the brokerage system is the safest system out there right now. And by me bringing blockchain into the brokerage system, it makes it more secure.
So what's next then for Blackstar?
We need to get recapitalized. We're looking for a strategic partner that's familiar with the industry, familiar with both industries maybe, and that'll help us move forward. So right now, things are happening so fast that I think that we've been getting a lot of calls. We've been getting a lot of calls.
Well, good luck with that. It's certainly innovative and interesting and potentially very disruptive. So, thanks so much, Joe.
Thank you.